owning real estate is like, that is the best investment in my mind. So if you own a home, I've heard it from everybody, don't ever get rid of your home. Like, just hold on to your home at all costs. Yeah, I did not want to sell to then go out to 50 miles away from where we currently were. I wanted to be able to hold on to that, continue to grow all of our equity, and then also earn income off of it. So it really helped in doing so. And since then, like, our equity it's continued to grow. We don't have to really worry about it. And not only that, but then it's paying our mortgage and more. So, and you can obviously figure out whatever you want to do with that more. But yeah, it's been fun.
And I mean, why not? Why not try? What's the worst thing that happens? It doesn't work out for you the way that you want it to. You change directions, but if you're patient and you're doing the things that you know you need to be doing in this, you'll see fruit from it.
All right. I want to introduce some really, really dear friends of ours. This is Brendon and Miranda O'Steen. And I've known Miranda since, oh gosh, Miranda, how long?
I was like 14. So yeah, how old
20.
am I now? 30 years. So 20 years.
20 years. Yes. It's been so fun watching her grow up. And she's an amazing woman now, which is so fun. And one of my dear, dear friends. And then Brendon, I met through Miranda, actually talking about when Miranda was wanting to move out to Ventura from Santa Clarita. And we were talking about, hey, don't sell your house. You should keep your house and use it as a rental.
And I thought you were crazy.
You did. So I'd love to let's just start there. Tell us about that journey, and even Brendon, how you heard about it and what your thoughts were with all of it.
So I am a dreamer naturally. So even though it sounded a bit crazy when Kellie came to me, I had been sharing with you my heart and our desire to move back out to Ventura and how hard that had been, just because prices had gone up significantly. And so you had shared with me how you had been blessed through this venture that you had taken and decided to offer to help us kind of join in that as well. I told you, you're going to have to talk to my husband because it sounds too good to be true. And if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, but I'll let him be the one to figure that out. And then I think I was dropping the kids off at group or something, and he joined me. And you stood in the parking lot and talked with him for 45 minutes about it. And I decided, I'm just going to let them talk. I'm going to step away because I don't want to interfere at all. And then you can kind of take over from there because you got that ball rolling with her.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Yeah, I mean, we ended up obviously out in Ventura and going through with everything. Little bit of kind of a mindset that I had to just get in of like, okay, this doesn't seem like something I've ever heard of. Number one, number two, like it's a risk. Like, it feels like a real risk, but high risk, high reward. So, we're years into this now. Mm-hmm. We're 3 years plus years into this, and it's been successful, and we're stoked on it.
So many blessings.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Many things that we've been able to experience as a family that we wouldn't have been able to if it wasn't for that additional income that we had. Also blessing others in our lives, people being able to live with us for periods of time and bless them in that way, to our son being able to play in a club sport, which is incredibly expensive and lots of traveling. So I just feel like it's been a huge blessing and answer to prayer in our life, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, you guys have been just incredible hosts too. And I love just watching you guys care for the home, care for the families that are in your home. How has that been, hosting people, and what's your experience been having people in your homes?
It's trippy. It's trippy at first. And then, let me think. So like our very first hosts or people that we hosted, they were only in for like a month. And I remember you telling me like, that's going to be longer than a month. And then it was only a month. And I went, oh no, no, this is it. Like, we're done. This is like, oh my gosh, like, what are we going to do? Which is like all doomsday, and it's not doomsday, but I remember those people moved out. We turned it over, and within like 3 days, we had someone else ready to go in, and those people stayed, as you guys know, for 14 months. So that was like
What a
two
blessing.
very crazy things. Literally, we'll call it the blessing, right? So, yeah, it's been great. We've had honestly, we've had good tenants. Like that was one thing we were definitely worried about because it's your home and it's not theirs. And I think of, you think of like the horror stories of like Airbnb and it's gonna, oh my gosh, they're gonna trash my place and blah 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 and everything. But then you realize it's so different than normal renting, and it's so different than even Airbnb because they're there longer than the 2 nights on the weekend, and they actually care to keep it relatively looking good because they have to live there. And we continue to see our tenants honestly take care of it relatively well, like no big issues. And yeah, it's been relatively smooth sailing.
And you get to take care of them too, because you have to remember this isn't their choice. This isn't something that they wanted to happen. This is sometimes very unfortunate circumstances that they're having to be placed into our home. And so we can bless them in so many different ways, whether it's, treating them to dinners or flowers or, just something to make them feel more at home, which I think is so special. And it really connects you to the person and them to you. So it's not just, oh, you're in my home and I have no idea who you are. It is more of this like relationship that you get to have with them, to love them and kind of have more of an understanding of where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are highlighting why we love the iMTR tenants. Homeowners that, are motivated to get back into their own homes, which is a completely different mentality than your typical short-term rental tenant. That's awesome. Maybe for the benefit of the people, why don't you guys talk about just your employment dynamic? So Brendon has a W-2 and Miranda gets to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Maybe elaborate just a little bit on like what your daily life looks like.
Well, so like you said, I'm W-2, so I'm a standard working class dude. This is the house thing is a completely side gig, essentially. So with it being the nature that it is, it's not as it doesn't take up nearly as much of my time when it's rented because you don't have to be there every day. You don't have to be turning it over all the time, that kind of stuff. So it allows for us to actually do this. It feels a lot more like a normal 12-month rental term because those are the people that you can get in. They stay. You don't really have to worry about. So it feels like that, and I'm still able to hold down my job. It's not impacting my job. It's not hurting my job, anything along those lines. And then it obviously allows for her to stay home, just with additional income, obviously, from it. We have 3 kids, and
I get to do all the fun kid things. I get to stay home and take care of my house, which, I love cleaning and cooking and baking and hosting and all of the things. And it allows for me to do that easily. Honestly, it's not very stressful. And I had how many teenagers over last night? 8 teenagers over last night working on a project from, 3 to 8 p.m. And I got to feed them and bake for them and have a space that's comfortable and welcoming and loving and safe. So yeah, it's great.
Okay, let's highlight the fact that you guys did not have to sell your property when you desired to move to another city. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who would love to move from where they live, but they're not sure how to sell their property and pick up and just go somewhere else. What's your advice for people who are kind of considering, I would love to go somewhere else, try maybe to go rent somewhere else, or buy somewhere else, but I love my home that I've been living in. I don't necessarily want to get rid of it. It's a great investment. How would you speak to that or those people?
Well, you touched on it, but I mean, owning real estate is like, that is the best investment in my mind. So if you own a home, I've heard it from everybody. Don't ever get rid of your home. Like just hold on to your home, like at all costs. So, yeah, I did not want to sell to then go out to 50 miles away from where we currently were. I wanted to be able to hold on to that, continue to grow all of our equity, and then also earn income off of it. So it really helped in doing so. And since then, like our equity is it's continued to grow. We don't have to really worry about it. And not only that, but then it's paying our mortgage and more. So, and you can obviously figure out whatever you want to do with that more. But yeah, it's been fun.
And I mean, why not? Why not try?
Yes.
What's the worst thing that happens? It doesn't work out for you the way that you want it to. You change directions. But if you're patient and you're doing the things that you know you need to be doing in this, you'll see fruit from it.
And that was our mindset too. Initially, our mindset was, okay, let's pray about this. Let's go out on a limb. Let's do this. So we do this. And with the backup plan of like, oh my gosh, this is a total failure. Let's explore just standard renting. You know, we could rent out the house as a normal 12-month lease or whatever it may be. And then an even further backup plan was, okay, then if it really is a problem, we can sell a house.
But now that's kind of off the table. We've said no selling.
Yeah.
And no long-term rental doesn't make sense. Even if you only rent it out for a few months for the entire year, it still makes more sense and protects you more in your investment of your home to do short-term rental.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in California.
Yeah. Yes. So I want to talk too about you guys. Now you're part of the Vetted Homes community, and we've come alongside you guys, kind of helping and guiding. What has been helpful in that, and do you think doing it on your own was possible? And if not, what have you enjoyed about working, with us and being a part of a community who's kind of doing insurance midterm rentals together?
Well, the support of just not knowing the industry perfectly and being able to reach out to you guys and go, hey, what the heck does this mean? This guy said this, what do you get after that? So, being able to come to you guys is huge on that. Because there's a learning curve, like for sure. When you're doing it on your own, there is a learning curve of understanding the industry, and honestly, you can get very lucky as well in this industry, but still to have the know-how of what you guys know, of being able to know that you guys have had this for years and years and years and experienced so much more. That's been great.
Your name is well known.
Yeah. Well vetted.
Oh.
Bad joke.
Yeah. I think for me, it's been, I'm a community person. I'm a people person. So to be able to have conversations about what's going on, hearing your experiences, being able to not only feel known and heard and loved by you guys and even other people within Vetted Homes too, that we know, but also to be able to come alongside other people and be that support as well. I think you guys have established this home and this community that feels safe and helpful. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, and I like the community aspect of it.
Yeah.
Of like, for instance, if we're rented up, but I'm getting inquiries and saying, hey, we need this, we need a 3-bedroom here, blah, blah, blah. I can reach out to you, or I can reach out to whoever else in the Vetted Home community and say, hey guys, guess what? Hey, we have this one, who's up, who's ready, who's open. And knowing the reverse side of that is when you're vacant, then now you have that support system of like, okay, guys, help me.
Yeah.
So
the family.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone's kind of pulling for each other. The nice thing is you genuinely know, like, I think everyone wants everyone to be full. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. So fun.
Absolutely. I know that's one of my favorite things is sharing that stuff. Like, because my places are booked. I'm so happy they're booked. And it's like, yes, I get to help somebody else book their place.
Yeah.
It really is so fun and exciting. Okay, let's talk about Brendon. I would love to talk about some of the details and the things that you are extremely gifted in that you've helped me personally in my business do, like create QR codes and work on websites and all of that. Is there some helpful tips to people who are maybe starting out doing iMTR insurance midterm rentals and kind of saying, this is something I've learned, or the process that I do that has really helped me streamline things and make them easier? I know budgeting is one of your awesome giftings, but is anything that along those lines or anything else to add to that?
Yeah. So like, I think the prep up for anyone coming into your home, initially, I think if you're frugal like me, you're gonna initially think, okay, how can I give them a good experience, but I want to be very conscious of the budget and whatnot. So I think what I have learned though is it is worth going big for these people because it just makes your life easier in the long run. Like, for example, would be, little things of like, hey, when they arrive, have that gift basket ready for them, have the gift cards ready for them, give them a gift card to maybe a place down the street that you love because you know that they're going to love that same Mexican restaurant, whatever it is. It goes a long way because then they get in there and they are able to actually feel at home a little bit and they have that personal connection with you, which I personally think kind of helps them not want to maybe trash your house, things along those lines. Take a little bit better care of your house, knowing that, oh, these are the same people that gave me that gift card or whatever it may be. But yeah, even just making your house comfortable and constantly upgrading it. I know that has become something that we've been doing slowly but surely over the last couple of years, is just upgrading little things here and there, a new couch there, a new this there, whatever it may be. And just kind of making it so that way the same way you would want to walk into a place, you'd be able to feel comfortable quickly.
The reality of it is, that when people are looking through these homes that maybe they've found or insurance has found for them, they are seeing pictures first. As a woman, I want something that looks clean and fresh and beautiful. That's my first choice, even probably more than size, honestly. So also understanding from that perspective of like, you want them to want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
But that does take time and money,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of it sometimes.
Yeah, but good investment.
So worth it.
Yeah.
And I would want that too if I was staying somewhere. So why would I not want to provide that for them as well?
What about as far as keeping track of all the finances and budgeting, all of that?
I'm a little more meticulous, but hey, it's important. I wanted to see exactly how this did. So I have my Excel spreadsheets and I keep track of every dollar that goes into it and every dollar that comes into it for revenue. And I'm able to kind of see how it all washes out at the end of the year. And it's been good the last couple of years. It's been great. It's just, but I do think it's so important because you guys, I think a lot of people would be able to look at this and go, okay, it's so easy to just get a really high dollar revenue amount, get it and keep it and not put back into the home. But then if you're able to actually see that dollar amount and you're able to say, hey, we have some extra money, it is time to upgrade this coffee table or whatever it may be, put a new TV in, make something like that. Totally worthwhile because those people are now you're keeping up with the times. And like she said, like people, they want to see the pictures right away. So when you get pictures and you want to highlight certain things, and by the way, you want to get good pictures, not iPhone pictures, as tempting as it is and as great as the iPhone 15 Pro is, I love it, but,
oh my gosh.
but it's not the same. Like, unless you have Lightroom and you're able to go over all this stuff and do raw imaging and all that, whatever, but you got to get legit pictures, make it look good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't chintz on that because like she said, like that is the first thing you do. Just like if you were going traveling and you're looking at an Airbnb or a hotel or whatever, I look at the pictures. If it's a dimly lit room and it looks terrible, I don't want to stay there.
Pictures are everything.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for saying that, because within our community, it's tough sometimes. And I get it. Putting, you fully furnished a home, you've done all this hard work, and now you're like, oh crap, I have to pay a couple $100s to get photos now. And I always say it's worth every penny, because you're right, Miranda, that's what they look at first. They're looking at, it's your best form of marketing. So you want to have amazing pictures and showcase your home the way that you want people to see it. So yes, I agree. Thank you for reading that.
Yes. And keep track of all those costs though, because the reason they're all like, yes, you have to pay for pictures, but it's a write-off. And
Yes.
you put that back towards that, and it will help you later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Awesome.
Can I jump in?
Yes.
For the benefit of the people. Okay. You don't have to give us exact numbers with your super detailed budgeting skills, but
Hold back the Excel sheet.
I have that right here. Can you give the people just a general idea of the sort of revenue that you guys are making, maybe before, like maybe a long-term rental would make, and versus what you guys are actually getting with your property doing the iMTR strategy?
So I think in terms of like a long-term rental, if you're talking like a 12-month standard lease, easily we're pulling in 2 to 2.5 times the revenue amount. So and it changes, because sometimes we go a little bit higher and sometimes we stay at our base. It all depends on who's coming in and if they're bringing pets or whatever. But yeah, it's 2 to 2.5 times the amount. So it works.
Amazing. And what percentage would you say is your occupancy rate like over a year?
Over the last like 3 years, we've averaged at least about 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
6 to 7 months have been fully occupied. And you'll have weird little stints in between where sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's a month and a half or whatever it may be. So
yeah.
Which it feels scary, but just trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a 14-monther like you guys did.
Yes.
Insane.
Yeah. But that's real. I feel like that's one of the things we want to make sure that we tell people is there is vacancy in this industry, because we can't predict the next fire or flood or some sort of catastrophe. So that goes back to even the budgeting, where you want to make sure that you're budgeting for those months that it's open. But we tell our community and others that it's okay when it's vacant, because when we actually get the booking, we're making that 2 to 3 times more. And
Right.
so it works out overall. But yes, budgeting for sure, and saving, because vacancy is a part of this industry, specifically if you're doing insurance midterm rentals only.
I think something that Brendon has said from the beginning is really just praying that whether it's 3 months, 2 months, whatever it is, that people are in there living, we just pray that it would cover our mortgage for the year.
Yeah.
And just kind of having that be our base of like, this is kind of what we need to save. And then after that, okay.
Yeah.
Which has been helpful, because that's a pretty, like, that number doesn't really change. That is the same number. So no matter how many months people are in or out, that number stays the same. So it's a pretty easy line.
Yeah.
And you guys have been able to do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That 14-monther really, she just like set us up for success.
She did. But yeah, we've been able to do that every year for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't take, honestly, everyone's financial situation is a little bit different depending on what your mortgage is and whatnot. But it doesn't take much if you get a good couple months. Even if it is a single month here and 2 months off, and a single month there and 2 months off, if you get 3-4 months, you're going to be very close to covering every expense for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. That's why we love telling people about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know, do you guys have any, well, I know Miranda, you're a dreamer, so you probably have a lot of plans, but do you guys have any future plans for any more real estate investing?
We would love to. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Goal is continue to save up with anything that we are able to put aside because of this midterm rental. And that's going to be going towards a down payment of another place and continue on. And that's the goal. So
Awesome.
And
That's good.
leaving legacy for our kids too in it.
Yep.
You know, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. That's the goal.
As far as insurance midterm rentals, is there any advice that you would have for somebody who's considering doing insurance midterm rentals?
Listen to the Davenports. Follow their ways.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
genuinely. We would know nothing about this if it wasn't for you guys blessing us with it and coming alongside us. You didn't have to do that, but you chose to, and it was such a gift to us. So really, listen to the Davenports.
Well, yeah. And with, obviously all the teachings that you guys have and all of the work that you guys put in for even like the class and whatnot, and just like kind of getting to realize there is a lot of this that in my mind, I want to do it all on my own and I can figure this out and but there's just so much that I don't know. And there's constantly something that I'm able to at least learn from it and learn something new and realize, oh, makes a lot more sense doing it this way. Or, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was even a possibility.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, hey, it's a big jump in, and it's something that you do want to look at your finances and you want to like pray about this and like realize like, hey, is this something that we want to be doing? Once you've done that, it's totally worth doing, and it's totally, it can be very fun to do also. And it's exciting. You get to earn extra revenue. And honestly, a lot of times you get to play with that extra revenue too. So there is a fun aspect to it. And it's been a huge blessing for us and been able to turn it around, bless others too.
Buy the course, do all the work. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Brendon and Miranda, for joining us today. And if you guys liked this content, there'll be more of it from us at Vetted Homes.